Have you ever had a lot of your seedlings die or not do well? Then today's video is for you. So I had to go out of town last week for about 10 days. I had a little book tour and it sold out at the Flower and Garden Show where I was speaking last week, and then I did some signings in Minnesota. I also went to France. You might know I've been doing workshops and kind of going back and forth, and actually I mentioned it in the last video, but I've gone ahead and posted the September workshop that many of you guys were asking about, where we are going to be doing gardening stuff in the morning, and then in the afternoons and evenings we'll be doing local food, wine tastings, cheese tastings, beekeeping, flower arranging workshops. So that workshop is live. I'll post it down below. It's for September 5th through 10th. We have another one in April in Paris. That one's already sold out. So anyway, I was out of town and my seedlings suffered a little bit. Things happen. So we're gonna take a look at kind of what's happened with my seedlings so that I can give you maybe some pointers, let you know, okay, maybe these ones are too far gone and we need to restart these seeds, and maybe you'll pick up some tips and tricks along the way. Let's go. Okay, so the first ones I wanna look at are my lisianthus. So the lisianthus, this is just one of my trays. I usually start around, this year I think I'm doing around 2,000. Lisianthus. A lot of what I have going right now are the mini soil blocks. And remember, the mini soil blocks are they're small. And so what happens is they dry out really quickly and easily. They're very difficult to manage the moisture levels. And so for people who are just starting with soil blocking, this is why I say don't use these tiny ones. Use more of a medium-sized one or the large one, because those ones retain moisture better. They're not going to take as much management. So if you're not constantly able to keep up with them, they're not going to dry out as quickly. So my sweet peas, for example, look fine because those are bigger soil blocks. They don't dry out as quickly. But these little minis, and the lisies are tricky in particular because if you've watched the lisianthus growing video, you'll remember that I mentioned that they need to stay pretty moist for the first part of their life, and they're slow. So when I say they have to stay moist for the first part of their life, I mean like the first month, which is a long time for seedlings to stay moist. So a couple things happen. One is that it's really tricky to keep them, if they're in the tiny blocks, the right moisture level. And number two is that we get this algae growth. So you can see we've got some algae growing here on these lisies, and that's just this green growth. It's literally algae. So algae photosynthesizes, so it needs sunlight to grow, and it's not necessarily super problematic to have algae. Just having algae alone does not mean you have to toss out your seeds, your seedlings, but it does, you probably want to get a handle on it. There's a couple ways that you can do that. If you're growing in a tray, what you can do is you can just get a little butter knife and you can just literally scrape that algae right off the top of your tray. Same if you're using soil blocks, just take a little butter knife, gently scrape off the algae, and then try to keep a fan on in the area to prevent it from coming back. The more air circulation you have, the better, which is another problem that was happening here, is that the fan was not on. So air circulation, if you do start getting algae and you're not able to scrape it off. So for me, for example, because these are growing in the mini soil blocks and they're tiny, I can't really scrape off the algae. So instead what I do is I use a couple things. One you can try is cinnamon, and the other one is vermiculite. So I always keep the cinnamon, and I mentioned this in my what I keep in my seed starting space video. I always keep cinnamon around. Yes, it's an antifungal, so if we get any fungus issues from this excess moisture, the cinnamon will help with that. So things like damping off. But also the cinnamon is actually going to form a little barrier on the surface of my soil blocks, and it's going to help keep the algae from being able to photosynthesize. So it's going to kill it off because it can't photosynthesize. But what happens sometimes, especially with these teeny tiny lisianthus seeds, is that the cinnamon covers the leaves, and then the leaves can't photosynthesize either. So what I do is I sprinkle some of the cinnamon on, then I use a spray bottle. I come in and I mist it to get that cinnamon off the leaves. The other thing that you can try is vermiculite. So vermiculite will work the same way, and it's better for larger seedlings. So the benefit of vermiculite is you're not having to apply an antifungal. So if you don't need an antifungal like cinnamon, I mean, it's a pretty mild one, but I always add that mycorrhizal fungi to my seeds to inoculate them. So I don't really want to kill that off. I kind of want to keep the healthy fungi growing. So I try to not use the cinnamon if I don't have to. So for anything that's like a larger leaf seedling, say a stalk seedling, that I would use vermiculite for that algae instead. So same thing, I'm gonna sprinkle vermiculite over the top, and that will work better for a larger seed. Okay, so that's the first thing that I've seen. Now, The other thing that's happened is that half of this tray, half of these soil blocks were left too dry. And that was just because the water probably wasn't shifted around. So when you water these ones, remember I take my watering can, I pour some water in, and then I like these nice sturdy fiberglass trays. See how I can hand it? I can hold it with one hand. So then I can just tip the water around to make sure it's all evenly distributed. But if you don't do that and your shelf is at all tilted, then some of your seedlings won't get moisture. That's what happened in this one. These ones down on this end didn't get enough moisture, so they didn't germinate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little toothpick. Now I did overseed these, so some of these blocks have more than one seedling in them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prick out, and you can do this with soil blocks just like you can a tray. I'm gonna prick out where I have double seedlings, and I'm gonna transplant those into another soil block so that I won't have as many empty spaces. So the Lizzies, I only have to do this with a few trays, so it's not too bad, but that hopefully will give you some ideas to help in case you're getting some algae growth. All right, let's take a peek at the stalk, because the stalk look worse. Now, stalk are some of my earliest blooms, and I really, really love them. They are quick growing, so I love that. You only get one flower per stem, so these are ones that I do not pinch, and they grow pretty quickly. So I think these ones I seeded, let's see, the 26th of January, so 3 weeks ago, and they were already getting pretty large when I left. This one still looks pretty good, but I think same thing happened. So you can see this side of the tray got enough water, probably where it was watered down on this end, and then it wasn't tipped. The water wasn't tipped down to this side. So you can see how these ones are all dried out. So there's a tipping point with seedlings where this happens, right? And I mentioned these are in the minis too, so tricky to manage the moisture level. There's a tipping point with dryness. So if you let them get a little dry and they just kind of start to wilt like the lowest leaves, that's recoverable. Just water them, take them away from the sun, give them a little time to recuperate, and they should perk back up. Even if those lower leaves stay a little damaged, they should still be okay. But there's a tipping point, and you can see with some of these where they've gotten too dry. And once they get to that point, it's hard to bring them back. And so this is a case where I'm going to restart. Now, luckily I have more stock seeds. I'm just gonna start another batch. It is what it is. Again, luckily they grow quickly. So these are pretty much transplant stage ready. So I'd say these are maybe 4 weeks to transplant stage in the soil blocks. These would be perfectly fine to transplant out. So if I start them again today is February, wait for it, 21st, then I'll be ready to plant these out around March 21st. So that's totally fine. I'll just do another succession of stock, not the end of the world. Just make sure that if you are doing those little soil blocks, that you're tipping that moisture around the tray so that they are all getting evenly moistened. See how these little lower leaves, you can see how the little lower leaves on this one are wilting. This is the point where it's still recoverable. That's still recoverable. The top still looks fine. That would be totally okay. This one will come back. But another one like too far gone. So that's a case where if your seedlings get too dry, you might just need to restart some new ones. So just bear that in mind. Okay, let's look next at my Snapdragons. Same thing happened here. The Snapdragons, remember I said, notoriously slow to germinate and to grow. And that's why I said that I was starting these in January, because they are slow, slow, slow. And what can happen with these ones is that their little helmet heads can stay on. The little seeds sometimes have trouble popping off the heads of Snapdragons. So this is one that I really make sure after they've germinated, even if I don't have a humidity dome on, that I'm coming through and I'm keeping the tops moist so that that little seed can pop off the top of the head, and especially in my climate because it's so dry. You can see I do have a little bit of, this is a good example of like where I have some algae growing on these ones that don't have vermiculite. So you can see here's the ones that don't have vermiculite. We're getting a little algae growth. And then down here where I did put vermiculite, really no problems with that algae. So that's great. But what I am seeing and sometimes I'll have to come through and do this, especially with the Snapdragons, because they have a hard time sometimes working their taproot down and into the soil block. So I've overseeded them. Again, I've done a couple per block in some of these, and so some of them have more than one seedling. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to transplant where I have some empty spaces, and I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm going to move them into the next block over. This is a little bit finicky, and this is why when I see people doing things like scatter sowing in a tray, where they'll take a strip, a strip of soil or a tray of soil, and they'll just sprinkle, for example, all their lisianthus seeds into there so that they're not having to do like one in each cell. In the idea of it saving time, to me, that's not a time saver, because then I'm having to come through and prick out each one of those and transplant them in, which is more finicky to me than just putting one seed in each block. Now, normally, if I had been here, I would have kept these moister, I would have had a closer eye on them, and these would have germinated more consistently and more evenly. But because they didn't, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my little toothpick and I'm gonna painstakingly go through and I'm gonna transplant them all, because quite frankly, for the snaps, it's getting a little bit late to do a second round, and I don't think I have any Snapdragon seeds left. Maybe I do, maybe I'll start a second round, especially like a group 3-4, which is going to be a more warm tolerant Snapdragon. Usually they prefer cold. And I'll put that video down below about growing Snapdragons, but I guess I'll do that. Maybe I'll start a new group 3-4 Snapdragon so that at least I'll have another batch in case, because these are a little bit patchy. Now my onions, on the other hand, are looking great. I do my onions in the 3/4 inch blocks as well. My cat has been eating them. But so you can see these do really, really well. And this is a great and cheap way to start onion seeds. I started probably 200 onions in one tray here of the mini soil blocks. And these ones are much easier to water. It's okay if they kind of grow into each other, because when you get an onion set, like the roots are all growing out and everywhere anyway. So not the end of the world for me to just transplant those as is. But onions looking pretty good. Sweet peas definitely looking good. Like I mentioned, those larger soil blocks definitely do better. So things I'm gonna do to help keep that algae growth at bay, I'm gonna put my fan on. I've got my vermiculite, I've got a little cinnamon. I'm gonna make sure I'm tipping my water evenly all over those trays so that we don't have a dry out issue again. And now luckily while I was gone, there haven't been any fungus gnats happening, but we have had a little bit of mold growing, which again, because we didn't have the fan on, that's why I always mention that air circulation is really helpful. Mold is normal to an extent, and especially with soil blocks. If you're keeping them pretty moist, especially at the beginning for germination, you might get a little bit of mold, especially depending on what you're using for a humidity dome. So if you start seeing it, don't panic. Again, you can try to just scrape it off with a little knife. Honestly, it's really not that problematic, especially if you get a fan on there. Once they get a little bit larger, just get a fan on there. You can scrape it off. Give a little air circulation around each soil block if you're using the blocks, and that should help deal with that problem. But don't just toss your seedlings if you're seeing a little bit of white mold. That's not the end of the world, and especially because we're adding fungus like mycorrhiza, you might just get some of that growing on top of your soil blocks. It's not a big deal. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. I think it's always helpful to see failures. I think it's always helpful to see, okay, this is what happened and this is what we're doing to correct it. And also, I hope it makes you feel a little bit better that we are all not perfect. And that's gardening. Guys, I hope this was helpful. We'll see you around here next time at the farm. Don't forget to check out the book and the workshop below. All right, see y'all.